brilliant. This is exciting. As we zoom over, we fly. What a privilege to be able to join these athletes at the start of their race. And they look so calm, hitting the legs. I love that as they move, as they get ready. They're full of that kind of nervous tension. This combination of real nerves to sort of think, I don't know if I want to be here, I don't know if I want to do it, but at the same time, knowing desperately you don't want to be anywhere else in the world right now.
I'm just thinking of that myself. You have that mix of please let me escape, and yet I've never felt more alive in my life than sitting on a start line. And it's that being in that place where you start to find out who you really are, how you connect with your teammates, and they are going to see what's possible. And let's see what's possible in this semi-final of the Prince of Wales Challenge Cup. It is Leander Club Mercantile Rowing Club from Australia on the left of your screens, up against the local club, Marlow Rowing Club, on the right.
That is a loud, fast and furious start. I think you heard from some of the crews shouting maybe 2 or 3 strokes in. That is intimidation. Brilliant.
Marlow Rowing Club won their first senior event last year in the Y-Folds, and they had another senior crew that went out of the Brit semi-final this morning, and so they have junior representation still in, but this is the big hope for the senior part of that club that has been building all the time, coached by Jamie Axon, who has lots of experience he brings with him from previously being at Oxford Brookes University, and they are building something special at the moment across the squads at Marlow. And a great start, crews pretty level, and all to play for.
This is fantastic. Almost stroke for stroke, seat for seat now. Both crews not looking over, really fixed in their throat. This is where you come out of the start, and now you're in this, you're locked horns in this battle. And we've got a bit of a clash of coaches here. We've got Ali Brown, coach of the Leander Club Mercantile Rowing Club, versus
Jamie Axon.
Jamie Axon, yes, that's right, at Marlow. And look how slick they look in the Marlow crew. This is really, really hard to do. You've got 2 oars each. Each sculler has 2 oars, and they are going really, really hard, hanging off the blade. And they've got a lovely swing to it in that rhythm here on the Marlow crew.
So James Dolman at bow was in that Y-Fold crew that won for the historic first time for Marlow in a senior club event last year, and he is back now with 2 oars. And you know, in his real life, he's an accountant at KPMG, and you know, it makes you realise again, this is that place where the standard of rowing is so high, and yet these people also have lives outside of rowing.
This is brilliant. As you can see, there's quite a strong headwind, and the barrier marker there just shows the Marlow have a slight edge, but not by much. I mean, that's a canvas, if anything.
It's really tight, yeah. Brilliant semi-final racing, and this is where you really get the test. You know it's going to come if you make it to the weekend at Henley Royal Regatta. You know you're going to have a race, and you have to bring your best. You have to not just execute the racing plan, you have to absolutely find something extra.
Yes, and this Leander crew and Mercantile, they've won Met and won Marlow and Ghent, some of the big domestic and international races that you can do as a club crew. Don't they look good? Don't they look strong as they're surging that boat forward?
They do. They're coached by Ali Brown, who's been a long time at Leander and is a wily coach. He knows this stretch of river incredibly well. He knows every aspect of this course. He will give them the best race plan to set them up to get the most out of themselves, and now they have to execute that. It is still neck and neck. I think a bit of a push happening on the Leander side now, maybe nudging their noses in front, a little sharper on the entry of the blades, but my goodness, Marlow looks strong.
Oh, how awesome is this? We've got 2 crews who are not giving an inch to one another, and the boat's just moving out here into the middle of the race. This is where it is really just you and the other crew, your team versus the other boat that you're racing. You can't really hear much of this at the bank anymore, because the race moves out into the middle of the river. So you get this real sense of it's just very personal racing.
Yeah, so at that moment you can't hear the crowds. You've done the start, you're in the middle of the race, and now how do you focus? You're exhausted, you've got lactic acid building. What do they need to be thinking about?
So there's no question that every single one of these athletes are incredibly driven driven people, really competitive. They'll know at this point in the race, they'll have a race call, they'll have a marker that they'll all agree on, and they'll be making the calls depending on those. And whoever's making the calls will be driving the rest of the crew on, as Marlow seem to be just taking a little bit of the lead as they gather that momentum. But this is a game of inches in this race.
It felt like Leander were putting in a push earlier, and Marlow absorbed that, and they have now put in their own push as they come up to Reminen, and there will be a lot of cheering for Marlow, a club from the river, just down the river from here. And this is phenomenal now, how they've suddenly started moving away. We've got James Dolman at bow, Max Bird at 2, Harry Rouenet at 3, and Alfred Heath, who is at stroke. Harry Rouenet at 3 is such a talent. He won a silver medal at the Junior Worlds just 2 years ago. And, you know, yeah, he was local, went to Clare's Court School. His parents row at Marlow Rowing Club. His dad rows, competes competitively in the Masters events. And my goodness, both Harry and Annabelle, who's also a star in the junior and under-23s, are doing something special. That family have done their job in breeding the next round of rowers. And Harry at 3 is powering away behind Alfred Heath, who is stroking and steering at Marlow. But here come Leander again.
Wow, look at this, Cav. What a race do we have on our hands. Look like Marlow were just slipping out away. But this Leander crew, they have moved up their gears. They have pressed that red button, and they're saying, no, we're going to check this. And as they come towards the second half of through the second half of the race to the final third, what can we do to overturn the Marlow crew that haven't gone away?
My goodness, they are coming. They are really digging in. It's Dominic Frederico who strokes the Leander Mercantile Rowing Club. Look at the power that's going down. James Hindle-Daniels behind him. Oliver Costley at 2. John Keating, who is steering at bow. So much experience here. Oliver Costley is at his 10th Henley Royal Regatta. They have made a push. They clawed back, but they still have more to do. A few looks. James, he wants to see where they are. He's looked over his shoulder a couple of times. They know they have more to do. They've done a push, and you have that feeling now, I've put more effort in, but I need to find even more.
How wicked. I mean, Leander, they've gone through the gears. They are asking the questions, and Marlow seem to be answering them. They've got it. They're holding their cool. They're holding their composure. As the noise picks up from the bank, they seem to be holding that. They seem to be doing incredibly well at just holding this race, controlling it. They've got a few strokes left to the finish as Leander for everything at them.
Such an impressive execution of races in both these boats, but Marlow Banks will be alive with everyone who lives in Marlow Town, who is a member of the club, with their alumni and everyone watching here as well. And Marlow booked themselves a seat in the final of the Prince of Wales Challenge Cup after an incredible race. Still had overlap at the end from that Leander and Mercantile Rowing Club crew. What a race.
That was brilliant. You see both crews just hanging over their oars there at the finish, just to show just how hard they've been as your body fills with lactate when you finish the race.
My goodness, Harry gave his all. You can see that. There's often a desire that you want to look as if it was easy, but that was not easy for any of those 8 athletes. Incredibly gutsy. And we see in this crew, they also gave their all, and it just wasn't quite enough. And there's a moment of processing. Firstly, your body is literally processing lactic acid. You're trying to get that oxygen in. So there's a physiological process and there's an emotional process. And they just will be rowing back home now to the club. Leander boat, not from the boat tents, because their own rowing club is just on the left of your shot by the bridge. It will come just out of shot. And so they will row and put the boat on the rack, and that is the end of the Henley Royal Regatta.